Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
Thank you for joining us in this Kettlebell Basics workout. Follow along with simple routines to expand your strength and review the basics with the refining video series. Let's get started, Lauren.
We're going to start with our feet. With our feet in parallel, we're going to explore our ankle squat. Pressing the knees towards over the toes. Keeping the shoulders stacked over the top of the hips, we'll extend those hips forward, squeezing our cheeks, pulling up our kneecaps, and bracing our core. Repeat that again. Knees towards over the toes, feel those toes gripping the floor, feet pulling together, and then press to extend. Let's add on by pushing down into the floor to find our first balance, and then control the down, keeping the knees straight. The knees will press back over the toes. This time, staying the same height, can we peel those heels up and hold our bent leg balance? Then press the heels back down, and one more time, return to tall. On this next ankle squat, we're gonna find the floor. Press those knees towards over the toes. Peel the heels up. Slowly descend towards the ground. With or without your hands, your knees will land softly. The hips will extend through. The toes will untuck, and we'll sit back down on those pointed feet. From here, we'll get into that wrist prep.
Let's extend the hips. It's a butt squeeze. Extend. Then hinge. We'll get into some hinges later in today's practice, but initiate pressing the hips back and accepting the floor, fingertips, calluses, and hands. From here, let's work on our first knuckle push-up. Pull the hands to the knees to create tension, then press the palms away from the floor. Pull the hands back down, just like the heels a second ago, and repeat a few more repetitions with straight elbows. Return to the ground, and with packed shoulders, press away, return, and one last time here, push so much that you flick the wrist and extending those hips through. Check out the refining videos for more wrist warm-ups. Until then, it's time for the lunge.
We'll explore a lunge position, which will help us later in our get-up. Let's bring a leg in front. Right away, our back foot is either tucked or pointed straight behind us. We'll hike a hip and then pull it down. Tucking under that back hip or squeezing that back butt cheek, we'll push it forward and pull that front leg in. So feel this tension pulling to center for 3, 2, now let's change the direction of the tension by pushing forward and pressing back out of that back leg. Pull the tension back into center, and then lightly relax. From here, we'll explore the side lunge. We'll heel toe the leg up to the side. Same idea, our hips are now level. We've tucked under that back hip, and we're pulling in that side leg. Let's take the same arm as that side leg and gently place it across our chest. Our head is gonna rotate to that side, and the upper body will follow. Then the head will come back to center, and the shoulders back to center. Repeat that rotation one more time. Head, and then shoulders, and head, and shoulders. From this side lunge position, we'll heel toe the leg back into the front, pull that leg underneath, and repeat on the other side. Leg comes up, first into our front lunge. We hike to hip, pulled it down. Tucking under that back butt cheek, pulling in the front leg, maintaining that vertical shin. Feel that tension pull together. Then let's press away from center, but keep your back hip pushing forward. One more time, pull the tension back in, and then lightly relax. We'll heel toe that leg to the side and get back to that side position. Our back hip's extended, our side leg pulling in. Feel that tension pulling into center. Take the arm that can touch that side leg and place it across your chest. The head will rotate, and then the upper body will follow. The head comes back to center. The shoulders come back to center. Repeat one more time. Head, rotate, head to center, upper body to center. Heel toe that leg to the front, pull it underneath, and let's get into some plank tension.
Ooh, those high tension planks. We'll establish on the hands, land, fingertips, calluses, full hands. The high planks position from here is a step back. Check. Gently tip your tailbone to the ceiling like that cow shape, but then casually tuck under those hips, connecting the hips to the rib cage. Pull the hands to the feet. Squeeze your butt cheeks, brace your core, and remember to breathe. Return the knees to the floor. Now with that tailbone reaching towards the ceiling, like in a cow posture, push the floor forward, lifting the hips up. As we walk back, press your hands back and finish where your shins are vertical. Then push your feet out and extend those hips through. We'll review those hinges in just a second, but until then, it's time for our favorite get up, or get down, I guess.
That's right. A get up is normally done with a kettlebell load, starting on the floor and working your way to tall in a specific pattern of movements. Today we'll explore it from the top down, but check out the refining video series for many more details. Let's take our right arm and cross it across our chest. We're going to take our left leg and step it back to that lunge position. Control the lunge down, extending that back hip and maintaining that vertical upper body. We'll take our front leg or that right leg and step it open to your side lunge. Rotating the head and the shoulders, we'll chop our hips in that hinge and the hand will find the floor. We'll stack our shoulders back over top of the hand, take your back leg or your left leg and sweep it through to come to your tall sit. From your tall sit position, you'll come down to your elbow, and from the elbow, we're gonna press away, slowly controlling our descent down to our back. Once on the floor and our back, we're gonna get up today from our push-up position. So let's roll over onto our stomach. In our push-up positions, our hands are near our chest, shoulders packed, hips tucked under, light squeeze of the cheeks. Either it's from the knees or the toes, press yourself back up, tilt the tailbone to the ceiling. Just as we did with Ian, we'll lift our hips and walk ourselves back via that hinge position. Hips go back, vertical shins, rump, press to tall.
Let's review a couple of those hinges while we're up here. Starting with your feet just outside of the hips, take the hands and chop the hip flexors. Push your feet out from center as you press your hips back. Looking a couple feet in front of you with a nice neutral spine is a great place for the head neck. From here, push the feet out from center, squeeze your cheeks, brace the core, just like in that high plank. Repeat once more. Hip hinge, press back, lengthen the knees, feel the load on those hamstrings, push away from center to tall. What we do on one side for the get up, we like to repeat on the other. Let's replicate the get up moves, this time crossing the left hand across the body. The leg you can then touch, drop it back in a lunge. Scissor techniques as we pull ourselves down with control. Open the leg to the side next, and then just like earlier in the warm-up, the head rotates to the lateral leg, the upper body rotates next. Hinge on the hip, place the hand on the floor, remembering to stack. Then sweep the leg through to our tall sit, find the elbow, and press off that elbow, returning to the ground. Let's push up as well here. So the hands just beside the chest, tuck under the hips, from the knees or from your toes, press up, walk yourself back, and assemble in the hinge with vertical shins, and then hips press through to shake it out and reset now that we're tall.
Using those hinges, we're going to progress into some kettlebell holds. Let's start with our suitcase carry. You'll need a bell. Ta-da! With your kettlebell placed between your feet in your hip hinge position, let's chop our hips, pushing them back into that hinge. With both shoulders square to the floor and shins vertical, grip the bell with one hand. Pack your shoulder, brace your core, and lift using your hips. I like to step my feet a little narrower as I stand holding my suitcase carry. My shoulder is slightly elevated and retracted to keep that bell off the body. Weights even in both feet, cheeks are squeezed, core is braced, and that off side is working hard to keep us upright. We'll hold for 3, 2, step, bring the bell in front, use your hinge to put the bell down, let it go, up without, little shake, repeat on the other side. Hip hinge, grip bell, pack shoulder, brace, and lift. Bringing your feet closer together underneath you. Shoulders slightly elevated and retracted. Weights even in both feet. Core is braced. Hold for 3, 2, step, using your hinge again to place the bell down safely. Let it go, and up without. Whew.
We carry that load low to enhance our grip and core strength. The same skills we look to refine with this next kettlebell hold, the goblet. This time, we'll stand directly over top of your load. Chop those hinge, and this time we'll grab with 2 hands on the top. Grip it. Pack the shoulders pre-load, then lift it off the ground and catch it in this goblet hold position. Brace the core. Connect the ribs to the hips, and remember to breathe from behind your shield of abs. From this position, stay with the shoulders retracted or look through the window. Make sure that the ribs stay connected to the hips, engage the glutes, and finish with control. Return the bell to the floor, gently come up with bare hands, and add those wiggles, high tension and a little bit of relaxation.
Whew. We'll be finishing this video series exploring some body weight versions of our kettlebell swing. We'll first start with our chop and pop drill, which will give you the idea of the speed at which we do our kettlebell swings at. I like to have my hands out front and my elbows in. We're going to chop our hips back, your arms will extend, and pop our hips forward to come to tall. Let's repeat for 5. Chop to your hinge, pop to tall. 4 more. In our tallmost position, we're in our plank. In the back here, we're loading up those hamstrings and glutes. And we'll do 1 extra one for good measure. Ending tall, hold yourself here. Your feet are rooted, your kneecaps are pulled up, your glutes are squeezed, the core is braced. You have that tension up high for 3, 2, and then relax and shake it out. Kettlebell swings are quite involved and require a lot of refining videos, so stay tuned for those.
Thank you for following along in today's kettlebell workout. We look forward to sharing new skills and refining simple basics with the kettlebell with you. Thank you for joining. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Let's stay strong, let's train soon, and as always, take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.